members of 6 a.m. and they're getting ready for an exciting live performance tomorrow. You guys got to take me through the feelings. Are you ready for this?
Oh yeah, we're so excited about it. For as unoften as 6 a.m. gets to play live together, it's been amazing. The rehearsals have been incredible. Just come together like we've been playing together for years.
I mean, take me through that dynamic. It's been 5 years. What's it going to be like? What are the feelings?
Well, you have to back up a little bit to the fact that when we write music, it's the three of us in a circle. Usually starts with a lot of conversations. We talk about stuff and something will click. Someone will say something, we go, wow, that's a great idea. And someone will have a riff, and it just kind of starts because we're friends, and every idea is accepted. Like, we don't go, oh, that's a dumb idea. Like, actually, the crazier the idea, the more that we want to give it a shot. Mm-hmm. And you can hear that in our music, that there's such diversity in it. So now we write the music in a circle, and then we start kind of mapping it out, and then we start building it. So what you're hearing is that we're never playing live. So after we do this album with all the lyrics, the melodies, and usually James programs the drums and many different layers and kind of ideas and rethought out ideas for the guitars. Like, DJ will live with something for 6 months, you know, like 10 songs for 6 months, and come back and like totally revamp the song. So it's constantly evolving. And
so it looks like it's an organic process.
It's an organic process, but what it isn't is a band that sits in a rehearsal studio and rocks out and then goes and records that live. Mm-hmm. So the reason I gave you that part of the backstory is, so now you put us in a rehearsal studio, we don't have a drummer, and we bring in a drummer, Jeff Fab.
Yeah, because you guys didn't use any programmed drums for this one.
This was the first record where we didn't, actually.
Yeah.
It was very important to us on Modern Vintage that it was a very performance-based record.
Yes.
So whereas programming drums or me playing drums in the past has worked because, as Nikki was describing, kind of building this beast as it goes. But for this record, we wanted everything to start from not only the songwriting, but from the performance, and everything was inspired from the first note that was played. So on this one, we had Jeff Fab come in and play the drums, and it really did help to make a very different record.
Yeah. So now we're a band on record, but not one in performance-wise, as far as not performing on a record, but performing live. So we went to a rehearsal room and kind of actually have to go, wow, what did I play again? and how did we do that? And what key was this in? Because everything's just so creative and moving so fast. And that was the exciting part, is that we got in rehearsals and we started playing these songs that we've never actually played from top to bottom.
Kind of kicking ourselves for pushing ourselves so hard.
Yeah,
So.
DJ's like, why did I play that? that part's almost impossible to play.
James is like, I should have stuck down.
I should have sung this one an octave lower.
Octave lower.
So it
But
sounds like it was difficult. It's not. It has its own
It pushed
challenges.
us.
Well, it's different when you're writing as a live band. You write much different, I think, than just writing to push yourself as hard as you possibly can. Because you do things you don't have to think about playing them live ever. You just push yourselves.
I mean, the DJ's guitar parts are so in depth that literally at rehearsal he's like, which of these 4 parts should I play?
Right.
You know, he really, because like these parts all feed off of each other, and it's like, well, maybe the bass plays part of that, and he picks it up there, and it was really exciting to watch these songs like come into themselves right there in a rehearsal room, and for us to feel like, wow, we're a real rock band.
Yeah.
We're a band.
It was very surprising how smoothly it did come together, actually. And I think that a lot of that is because we've lived with some of these songs for so long now, and just, not only in our hearts, but, our fans have lived with them. So we know these songs. They're a part of our being. And it was really exciting just how... What I was taken by when we got into rehearsals is how natural it feels to play with you guys as a band. Sometimes there's just not the dynamic, or the chemistry isn't quite there. And when we brought Jeff in, it was just everything just gelled beautifully.
He was a great addition, and we wanted to have something that we love about a lot of bands from the '70s, and that was to have female backing vocals. Yeah. Not on tape, not there to for eye candy, but for the sound of the band. And James knows these two singers, one that he's known forever,
Yeah.
and and he worked with them at his home studio and really got them up to speed, and everybody had their parts. So that was another addition to the sound of the band.
Yeah.
And a lot of the guys that are there working with us on the crew and production people and stuff were like, it's amazing what that does to the sound too. So between all the different arrangements and the tunings and how we put these songs together and having that on top of it, it really at moments sounds like you've been taken back in time a little bit.
Oh my gosh, and that's what's so great about this album is there's so many components and elements to it. What do you want fans to take from this album in particular?
Well, I think that this record for us was really about discovering what we loved about music, what inspired us and influenced us, and I really believe that on Modern Vintage that our fans are going to discover what their relationship has been with music throughout their lives. And that's very exciting to me because it certainly happened for me, and I believe for all three of us, when we started realizing just what a huge part of our lives bands like Queen or Bowie or Elton John or any of these great rock artists played in our lives and making us want to make music in the first place. And I believe that fans are going to really take that as well and realize just the role that music has played for them in their lives.
For sure, and what's so great about you guys too is you guys are veterans, like you know rock. And so now you're kind of...
old.
I didn't mean to.
Yeah,
right.
War heroes.
It's wisdom. That's what it is.
That's
It's
right,
wisdom.
I like it.
Okay, we like that.
I like
Is that better?
Yeah, yeah.
So you have this wisdom, and now you're kind of going into kind of this new era. How has it been? The music has changed so much. How would you now define rock?
Well, when we were making this record, we said rock used to be like this. Now you look at a Queen record, and you've got everything in there that you could ever imagine. It's all under the banner of rock. And over the years, rock has become this. Not all bands, okay, but in general, this, and then it's formatted. So here's a rock band over here, and they're called alternative. And then here's a rock band over here, and all they did was turn the guitars up, and that's called active. And here's a band over here. Oh wait, they've had a bunch of hits, and they've been around for 10 years. Oh, they're classic. And we're not really into that. We're into this, and that's what Modern Vintage is about. It's what all of our albums have been about. And we think that, and we see it, and from fans, we have 18-year-olds. That are just discovering rock, and they might be referencing new rock bands and saying, wow, I haven't heard anything like this reminds me of, or my mom used to play me Queen, or I used to hear David Bowie. And so you hear Muse and Imagine Dragons and Elton John and Wings all in one Facebook post. And you're like, wow, it's connecting. That's what we want. We want new and what was once new that we think is still fresh.
Part of what bands used to do, what artists used to do, the ones we keep referencing, is they really knew how to capture your imagination. When you would put on an old record, you would be transported, and you would go on a musical journey. And that's something that I think that entire concept has somewhat gotten lost. And to Nikki's point, not everyone, but a lot of bands have kind of lost sight of how important it is to capture the imagination of their audience, and have it be an experience that doesn't happen in their normal daily life. And I think that's something that we've all loved about music, and that's something that I believe Modern Vintage does, is that it takes the listener on a journey, and yet it's important that for bands to know that if they're going to explore new territory like this, they can't. The fans have to trust that they're not going to abandon them once they get someplace new. So we take our listener on quite a journey, but they are always going to be listening to 6 a.m. music, and they know that it's going to come back around and it's all going to make sense. And hopefully somewhere in that journey they'll learn things about themselves.
There was, if you look back historically, great changes that happened at radio. We had AM radio, and they played singles, and everything was single driven. And If you look at what's happening now, it's very similar, right? You go up to iTunes, people are cherry picking the song. And you know, when I was a kid growing up, FM radio became the thing, and it was AOR, album-oriented rock. So anything on that album could be played on that FM station. And that was one of the greatest things that ever happened in music, because artists, it doesn't matter who they are, would make an album, like James is saying. Like when DJ says, this is a journey from beginning to end, we're not looking at singles, we're not looking at just one genre, and we're hoping that we take people, you know, on kind of a new adventure musically, so they want to get the whole album. Not only for us as artists, that we want to make people listen to the whole record, but for the fans, we want them to not just listen to Gotta Get It Right or Stars or Life is Beautiful. With the Heroin Diaries, they had a book, and the album in a sense mirrored the book, and the book mirrored the album. So they would read the whole book and they would listen to the whole album. And that's kind of, you know, really our battle cry.
It's very much the way we kind of sequence this record. Hopefully people won't hit shuffle. You know, we sequenced it in a way to where we're actually releasing it on vinyl, and that's very much how we laid it out, to where there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. And that's what makes the listening experience so cool when you hear this album.
I like the way you said that, don't hit shuffle. It's definitely a different way to look at music, because we've definitely become that. And you guys have different interests. Obviously you guys are here collectively as a group, but each one of you is pursuing different things. Can you kind of delve into that for me, your different interests?
Well, I mean, that's what makes any great band a great band.
Yeah.
Is that you have these different personalities and different interests.
I think everybody's is all wrapped around art and music. I mean,
Yeah.
it kind of all goes together.
For sure.
You know?
Art and music.
Yeah.
But I think that what's special about 6 a.m. to me is that we were obviously all brought together because of music, but the friendship that we've forged is, I think, even stronger than the music. And the music, 6 a.m. music, is really now a byproduct of this friendship. We love hanging out. You probably can't tell now because we're just all...
You guys are so
But
serious.
no, but we love spending time together, and it's so rare that we do get to spend time together, and it's such a joy when we do that, you know, the music that comes out of it, those moments, is a real celebration of a great friendship.
And like one way that our friendship comes out is like when we do play live, you know, we have an agreement that if one person in the band makes a mistake, the other two band members will turn their back on that band member, and they get no support for drums. So
Yeah, we're great friends.
we're really great friends. But we laugh. Like literally, if like I mess up, I look over and these two guys have their back to me and they're cracking up, and it you can feel it on stage. There's this like synergy between us, and we have a lot of fun.
To your point earlier, though, also in the writing process, the friendship is so important, because Nikki alluded to this earlier. There's nothing that when you're writing songs, it's about becoming vulnerable. It's about, you know, maybe daring to say things that may be stupid, you know, or may not be a great idea, but you have to dare to say it so that your partners can react to it and either say, I get where you're going with this, what if we try this or that? And the friendship that we have allows us to do that, knowing that we're not going to be judged. I mean, we might get made fun of. In fact, we do get made fun of. But
which is actually a jumping off point to another idea.
That's exactly right. But we know that our dumb ideas are never going to be used as weapons against us. And what that does, that allows the great ideas to have their moment and get discovered.
When we were making this record, and I talked earlier about how we talk a lot, you know,
You guys?
right? Three of us were sitting, we were at my house, and we were sitting outside, and we were just talking. DJ had a guitar, and we were just talking, and we hadn't really started the record yet. And we said, let's make a record that we would be embarrassed by. Let's be willing to go that far out on a limb. And everybody said, that's exactly what we're going to do. And the very early recordings were that. They
Terrifying feeling.
we had to be willing to do that, to end up with songs like Miracle,
Yeah.
to end up with songs like Before It's Over, or we would have just made another rock record. We would have said, man, we got riffs for days. It's like we can do that, and we love it. And stuff like Let's Go, it's like that's, you know, embedded in us. But to do something like, you know, like again, Before It's Over, that takes work.
It does. That was the hardest one for me.
Yeah, why?
Well, because I don't play that style of guitar. You know, it's a very rockabilly style, and I had to really go back to the people I love listening to. Although I loved like Scotty Moore from Elvis Presley's band and Chet Atkins and Les Paul, the way they played, I didn't really play that style of music. So it was fun creating that song together and going back, and you know, when you're laying down your parts, you want to make them authentic and do that genre of music justice, you know, so you have to do a lot of homework to do that.
I bet. And you look like you're a group that likes taking risks and challenges, and you know, you're going to this exciting performance tomorrow. I mean, it's your first live stream. I mean, what do you guys think about that?
I think we're insane.
I just hope I don't look across the stage and see their backs.
You look up on the stage
To the crowd, because we've all made mistakes.
Yeah, right. It's incredibly exciting. It's that part is just, it's a dream come true. You know, you have these songs that you fall in love with. You have we all have relationships with these songs, and to be able to finally, you know, perform them live and just bring that element, bring these things to life is just thrilling. I can't wait. I cannot wait for tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, so what is the biggest thing you're looking forward to for tomorrow?
Wow.
Acting.
I think that to finally be playing these things for fans and actually have that connection with the audience again, that's extremely important. We've been so lucky over the years to have a great relationship with our fans through social media, but to actually physically be there is going to be fantastic.
I mean, to physically be there and play in front of a live audience, but at the same time, you know, it's going out through access.com. And I've been getting emails and tweets and Facebook posts from kids all over the world. They're like, we can't wait. We can't wait. This one kid was telling me that they have to stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning on their time zone. And they're like, me and a bunch of my friends are going to stay up, and we have to go to school the next day. But we're staying up to see this. It's a lot of people's first chance to ever see 6 a.m. perform together.
Well, I know I'm excited. I know your fans are excited. So you guys got to definitely check out the live stream tomorrow on Access. Thanks so much to the members of 6 a.m. for joining me. I'm Claudette Stefanian.